everyone to see what I know I'm capable of.
I want to make my training worth it.
I think it will be a good head-to-head between the both of us.
Everyone knows CrossFit is volatile the way the workouts change. You could get first at one and 10th at another, so no pressure.
I'm super excited to do the Open announcement. It's an amazing opportunity.
I'm excited to go head-to-head with Sydney. I mean, yeah, I want to win. Of course I do.
Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingham.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
Inside the Leaderboard is back. We are done with week one. Technically, there's like 4 hours. It's not official until like Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah.
Validations happen automatically, so you don't have to worry about any more validations getting put on the leaderboard. Now, rejections could possibly happen. But we are all set. We are off and running. And so we are bringing back our Inside the Leaderboard, where we'll recap 1 week of the Open, post 25.1. A couple things we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at the top 1%. Now that we have all registrants in, we'll even look at the Masters and age groups, which would be the top 2%, what those numbers mean. And then we'll take a look way down the line at the Community Cup and where you're at on the leaderboard. What does my percentile after week one mean for me now? And what could that mean for me on the Community Cup? And then at the end of the show, obviously Dave Castro has released his clue for 25.2, and Bill and I will take a look at .com for the week. We'll take a look at CAP for the week. We'll take a look at the clue for the week. And then with that information,
I will come up with the right answer.
Bill will exactly what
I got my crystal coffee right here.
Yes,
I'm telling you.
Yes. Will no rep. This is a great question. This is it's about, is it toe to bar or toes to bar? It is toes to bar. You have multiple toes, of which will be touching the bar.
And that was actually a question on the judging course, so hopefully pass that.
Toes to bars is also not correct. Even though technically adding the S because it's multiple of them, but
yes.
Maybe toes to bar touches. Well, that's kind of a double. It's like chest to bar pull-ups. That's plural.
Straddle toes to bars.
Just say it's toes to bar. We'll
T
start
to B. T to B.
T to B
solves all your problems right there.
The always wonderful Barkley Dale has been so kind to build out our Inside the Leaderboard show for you guys. So show them some love. Show them some love by following Apollo Perform. There's two ways you can do it. You can go to Instagram. This is Barkley's baby. It is the most accurate, in-depth, and up-to-date, basically, analytics forum for everything that you know and love about CrossFit. If you love the sport, go ahead and follow them. We will put the link in the chat, but it is just on Instagram. It's Apollo Perform. If you don't know how to spell that, it's not P-E-F-O-R-M. It's P-E-R. I only say that because I always get that wrong, and I have to rely on iMessage and my iPhone to get it right.
Correct, auto type.
Yes, but this is pure analytics. No bias, no bullshit. It's just based off performance. Barkley's data system, where he actually ranks strength of field based off who's participating and their competition history, collectively who is in the field, and he creates his own top 100.
It is the wildest numbers game ever.
Yes.
I mean, what's really fun about it is, I mean, most of the analysts that are out there, we have our own spin on what we think makes someone great when they're competing.
Yes.
And he strips everything away except for how they've performed, what type of events there are, what sort of implements there are, how long the events are, if it's the first event of the day, what day of the week. Like, you want to come up with any sort of possible idea of how someone is going to do relative to their past, He has got everything in there. It's nuts.
Yes. And this 473 is unacceptable. This should be
Dude, that should be like 14,000.
1,000 by the end of the week. Like, if you guys want to follow just data info, come here. Also, his website, which is growing as we speak. I was talking to Barkley about it, and he said, "I'm doing my best to make it Savan proof."
Wow. I don't know if that's possible.
It's not been, and what that means, like, that Savan you could give him the website and he could pull it up live on his like a show, and he could navigate it and understand what was there. I was like, I don't know, man, that might be that's a tall task, but that's just, like, engineers use a safety factor.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, when we design this weld between these metal beams, is like, we need a safety or strength, like safety factor of 8. Which is 8 times beyond what the maybe structural integrity would be.
You want to know a rad cheat code that I just thought of right now? So there's
what?
473 people that are looking at the Apollo, and I know there is a ton more that are playing the Heat One app stuff that we always do on all the different events.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what, guys? Here's your numbers game. It's like if you had fantasy football and you had everybody's stats and you got to pick.
Yeah, if you want to win,
if you want to win. I mean, what's he got? What is Heat One's got $1,000 a weekend right now, dude. Follow this guy, use it for the Heat One app, get your info, possibly win $1,000.
Yeah. So we go from safety factor to Savan factor. Savan factor of understanding. This is. But if you guys go to his website, there's some really cool things. One specifically around the Open. So he has, like, the latest competition is at the top and who won. Athletes, like a whole search engine which has their information. Competitions that are coming up. Event finishes. Head-to-head matchups, meaning you can pick athletes and put them against each other. His ranking system, but right here, right on the left, it says CrossFit Open. And this is pulling not only directly from the leaderboard, but there's additional things that you can sort, which is really exciting. And then he has another function of who's doing what, who's doing well, who's in, who's out, kind of a deal. So it's great stuff. So if you guys haven't followed it, please do. Who's competing in 2025. There's a lot of cool things. So go check that out. Links are in the chat, but let's get down to business. Let's get inside the leaderboard. As we start with what we're doing here, we have a new season. The top 1% out of the Open will advance to the semifinal qualifying stage. Now, there are 2 prongs to that. One is the in-affiliate semifinal. So post-Open, there will be another online competition that is semifinals, and then top 11 men and women will get an automatic bid from that competition to the CrossFit Games. Now, as right now, they're taking 30 men and 30 women to the Games. That's the least number they've taken since, I guess, in person than the 2020 CrossFit Games, where they only took 5 for in-person live competitions. There was the pre-stage that was online, and that might have been 30. But this is what they're doing. Now, to qualify to the CrossFit Games, no matter if you go in affiliate or an in-person qualifying event, you must make the top 1% in the Open. I've seen some confusion out there, is that a lot of these in-person qualifiers have already invited people to their event, and they're already showcasing who's going to be competing in their elite division. It doesn't matter if they're there. They can compete in that competition for fun, but they cannot qualify to the Games unless they make the top 1%.
Open matters.
The Open
matters.
matters more than it ever has since 2018, arguably 2019, where they took people straight to the CrossFit Games from then, but then they also invited the entire world to come with them. Totally. So I would say since 2018.
Right.
Or maybe 2020, because they took the, top 20 out of the Open and then 10 who already qualified. That being said, the Open matters again in a significant way. So if you want to make the Games, you have to be in the top 1%. That is step 1. You can't just sign up for these qualifiers and think you got it. All right? So those are the 2 paths. Now, once you qualify, either here or here, and maybe you double up, I believe they'll take your first way of qualifying. So say you qualify the in-affiliate and you go to NorCal Classic, which will be covered by the Savan podcast crew,
Oh yeah.
and you qualify there, they'll just backfill there at the in person, and they'll keep your first qualifying. Now, the last thing here is the Hustle Up Last Chance Qualifier. Where is it going to be? Is it going to be online? When's it going to be? Is it going to be part of our tinfoil hopeful of the Community Cup in the Pro Division? That would be pretty sweet. Then again, even if you make the Pro Division, which is level 9 and level 10, 88 percentile or better, you can't qualify out of that unless you make the top 1% as well. So it all centers around what? The Open. Which is
God, dude, I'm so happy that they did that, especially right now. Like, it's so important. If you want to go down this track, and granted, they got, whatever, the WFP thing, whatever. If you want to go down this path, you got to jump through all the hoops like everybody else, because that's the way it's always been. That's the way we've always done our sport. I love it.
I do too. So let's take a look at this. This is your week 1 top 10 in the world, unofficially, pending video review. Colton Mertens breaks the scorecard. I believe Bossard or Bouchard, should we upset people again? Bouchard, Colin Bossard breaks the scorecard as well. What's cool here is that who set the world record last year in 24.1 for the men?
Colton.
Yeah. Very similar.
Yeah.
Movement patterns.
Yep.
Double time frame. Shows you a level of fitness, because this isn't the same top 10 as we had in 24.1, but you do have the same guy at the top. So Colton takes first, your top 10, Down Pepper in third.
Colton.
That's a lot of range of motion.
I expected Colton to win this, but the fact that Dallin is third in the world with that range of motion like that, and it's not just the burpees, it's the distance of the hang, clean, and jerk too with the arm. Like, that is a lot of range of motion that kid is moving.
Yes,
that impresses me most on this list right here of the top 10. That impresses me the most.
Yes, and
by far,
in true week 1 of the Open fashion, as of late, being a very accessible workout, a very, I don't want to say easy workout to do. Right, we get some new names on the leaderboard when it comes to the top 10. You got one of the youngsters, George Sterner, making his way up in the top 4. Nicholas Beeden, don't really know that name very well, so he's up there. Oldest Upanik's making an appearance. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think he was injured last year. Austin Hatfield, did he repeat? I don't think he did. Did he repeat?
No, I think
someone will know better than we did.
Yeah, I think someone.
But
the same score.
To get a top 10 score and doing it 15 minutes after you heard what the workout was going to be, is very impressive. Benoit Boulanger, we've heard of that. Ricky Garrard gets a top 10. And then Reese Mitchell ties with Ricky Garrard in 344, rounding out your top 10. On the women's side, who was the person who set the event record for 24.1 last year, Bill, on the women's side?
Ms. Van Roer.
Oh, yes. Now, this is a name we know. This is not a name that has made the CrossFit Games yet, but she has made a name for herself in the high rock scene. But she also made a name for herself with a big splash in the Open last year, but could not capitalize on that come semifinals. But there she is. She also breaks, I believe, the scorecard as well. 359 reps. Amazing how close the top 2 scores is, because Colton was 361. Colin Bossard was 358. Miriam was right between at 359. What does that say to you in the programming? Just like that your 2 best are only separated by 2 reps.
Well, as a programmer, that's what we look at when we look at the end of the day on our whiteboard. Are the numbers about the same? Do you have like your top people about the same, whether they're men, whether they're women, whichever?
Yeah.
If they're about the same, then you're about right. What out of this right here, what shocks you the most?
Spin, do I have to yell the ham part? Is that what you're implying? That's Miriam.
Dude, Carolyn Prevost.
Right?
Dude.
Still got it.
Dude, it's like, I'm just gonna kind of chill out. All right, 6th in the world.
And we got a couple marker machines in here, right? Caroline Dardini, Fisa Gaffi. Manon Agonies, who repeated it after seeing her reps weren't up to par per a Hiller video, and then came out and just did it better and did better
And then
at the
flipped him
same
off, I
time.
believe.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
good.
which is
Hey, you
great.
know what?
Yeah, that's
Which is
awesome. You
cool.
should.
Have that attitude.
Yes.
That's cool.
I'm glad he accept your trolling, although he's not wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong. And the
critique.
thing that's great is that, like, okay, she had every right to be. No one likes to have to redo a workout like that when they're called out, like, yeah, your reps didn't count.
Especially when you have to
But
do
the
this
thing
many
was,
reps.
he saved her. He
Yes,
saved
that's
her
true.
on it. So thank you. Like, okay,
Yes.
yeah, but thank you.
Yeah. Maybe thank you for looking out for me. You're number one.
Yeah.
I think is what she said. Caroline Prevost, Kristen Holta, who apparently is still retired. She did the same thing last year. Leah Soren, Odin Lukatham. Don't know that one. And Carly Stote. So those are your top 10 in the world.
I love the first event of the Open is always so fun because everyone just goes into extreme panic mode because of either who's on the leaderboard or where they are. And it's like, you guys, it's one event. Like literally it's the one score. That's all. We got other ones. You're okay. But it's interesting seeing all these names filter in like that. It's crazy.
Augustus is making an interesting draw here. Beerham and Colton, who is the Iron Hog, Mertens. And I believe if you guys watch Colton's video of him destroying this, the guy next to him is Augustus. Is that true? That's what I heard. Which you are fit.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, seriously.
You are fit. But those are your top 10 for the women. Next on the docket is the these are your top 3. Payouts this year. Colton Mertens, Miriam, or Mirham. We'll say Miriam.
You better be careful.
Yeah. At least I'm saying the T in Mertens.
That's true. That is
Colin, those are your top 3. They'll get payouts for that. Okay, now this is inside the cut line. Now, based off registration numbers only. So this cut line for semifinals, individual, and age groups is going to be different than the leaderboard or level cut line in the Community Cup. So for 1% goes to semifinals for individuals, 2% goes to semifinals for age groupers, just based off total registration numbers. Now, for age groupers, it's the numbers that are in your division. So if there's 20,000 people that sign up for the 40 to 44, which is my division, the top 2% will advance to semifinals, which, short math, I believe that's 400 people.
It's a minimum of 200, right? Depending on your
minimum of 200.
Yeah.
Now, for individuals, it's the 1% based off of the total number of registrations. So for the men, it's 1,303. That's your cut line on the leaderboard. If you want to make the top 1%, you better be inside that cut line. And as it stands right now is that for a lot of these athletes, I believe these are athletes that have semifinals or better experience. Barkley's in the chat. I believe that is what this is. So if they've been, they're in here. We'll look at who's outside the cut line for the same thing. If they had been to semifinals in the last couple of years or the CrossFit Games, these are names that are outside semifinal qualifying position. 285 reps makes you safe, which I believe is, you got 262. So that's in the dumbbell snatches in the round of 27.
3 snatches, yeah. Yeah. Or clean and jerks, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Barkley. Yeah. So any names on this list inside the cut line have semifinals or better experience in the last year. Outside the cut line, Brandon Swan. Now the cut line being 1303 based off the men. There's just over 130,000 men that registered for the Open this year. Brandon Swan, 9 points out. Kevin Schutz.
Look how many ties there are.
Yes. Travis Mayer. Austin Spencer. Tudor Magda. Matt DeLugos. Paul Tremblay, even though he's in the 35 to 39 division. About 1,000 or 100 spots. Just over 100 spots outside the cut line for the men. Now, this is just after week 1. You put a heavy bar out there somewhere, Paul is going to be just fine. One thing to shout out is that Matt DeLugos is signed up for the Open and competing again.
Yeah.
At what degree and what level, I don't know, because I believe he took the year off last year or maybe the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
to, I don't know, take a break.
Yeah, Tudor's not. If you throw a barbell in there somewhere, Tudor's going to be great too.
Yeah. Or handstand walks, which some people
Travis
are
Mayer,
excited to
same
do.
thing. Yeah, a lot of these guys.
This will
And,
be
and again,
much
this,
different.
and this is what's so crazy is how much it's going to change after the second event. I mean, in this particular event, it was, I wouldn't even say it was like CrossFit-y. I think it was very one-sided. We talked about like the anaerobicness of it. It wasn't heavy, wasn't hard. It was just what was your gas pedal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's going to be very, very different once these other events come out.
Pedro, if you guys stick around for the show, Around the Whiteboard, it will be after this. Some good topics, and I will be on the panel today.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Get it.
Pedro says Swanee has also an invite to Torian as a former champ. Correct, but it
doesn't matter.
unless he makes the top 1%.
Yep. I mean, cool. He can go and compete. Like, awesome.
Yeah, great. Yeah, awesome. Compete, have fun. Your season is over.
It's like you're a celebrity athlete at that point. Yeah. It doesn't count. You're just there to like.
Yeah, what is like the celebrity all-star game before the NBA all-star game?
Yeah, you're just a hired training partner is all you are.
Yeah. All right, so that is for the men. Let's go to the women. Inside, now for the women's cut line, it was either top 1% of total registrants or 1,200 at the minimum. Now, in the women, only just over 100,000 signed up worldwide this year. So the minimum cut line is in play here. So if you are inside the top 1,200, you are safe for the top 1%. This cut line number will not change. It definitely won't get lower.
Right.
Same for the men. Community Cup, as we're going to preview in a little bit, that number can change. And we'll tell you why in just a little. So here is who has either made semifinals or the CrossFit Games in the last year or so that are on the bubble of the cut line. Alethea Boone being one of those that's a perennial games athlete. I think that's really it as far as games athletes go. Most of these other ones are just semifinal athletes. But these are all the ones that are teetering. Outside the cup line, I keep saying cup line. Cut line, sorry. Allison Weiss, I think is she doing team or retired? I think they all retired. Ella Vunger, I know that name. Chelsea Hughes.
Yeah.
Emily Lundberg. So she almost made the games last year.
Kelly Friel. Wow, massive athlete.
Andrea Pinheiro. So there's one that was at the games last year. Holly Henderson. Is she a Masters? So a few of these names you'll know from European semifinals, a couple from North America. But these are outside the 1,200 mark cut line. 1,200 mark cut line. Beck, Tia redid. Here's exactly what happened. Tia watched our show on Monday, realized she was not going to make the top 1% with her current score of 229, redid it, and got a 287, I believe. That got her inside the top 550. So she'll be fine. I'm surprised Pinheiro landed here. Work capacity is kind of her thing. Did I say cup line again? Son of a gun.
Yeah, you've been saying it the whole time. It is. I mean, she's grunt worker, but she's more of a she's a stronger athlete. So I think having her do this well in this one, you think she did well or she didn't do well? You think this is below what she should have done?
I mean, if you're outside the cut line after week one of a very accessible.
Well, it's accessible, yeah, but I just don't think that like speed, this element of speed is her is her jam. And I mean, what's she out? She's out 300.
320, which
I mean, again, depending, it really. That's why I'm so curious about what the next events are going to be because I think that there will be a lot of changes.
I want to see. I wonder what she got last year.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
Andrea Pinheiro. Where are you? Let's see. How'd you do in 24.1? 2,322nd. Okay.
Yep. See,
So you did better than you did after week 1 in a 7-minute workout. All right. Noted.
yeah.
Noted. Spencer, my girlfriend got 2,914th. All right. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. Let's move back to, where are we at? Community Cup. Oh, sorry. This is cut lines for masters. Now, masters in age group, these numbers also won't change, as in they won't get less. You can still actually register for the Open all the way through 3 weeks. Why you'd want to sign up in week 2 and not do week 1, but I won't tell you not to. But what I mean is that maybe 20 people sign up and you get an extra qualifying spot or whatever. Okay, so how it's going to work is top 2% of the total people, so men, women, opposite, in your division will advance to semifinals with a minimum of the top 200, which is a nod to the old days of the age group online qualifier, which was top 200.
Yep.
Now we're taking the top 2%. So for the men, 14, 15, 200, 16, 17, 200. Everybody has 200 except these in the middle. So the 35 to 39 division had 26,000 people sign up, nearly 26,500. So 530 is your cut line to get in the top 2%. 40 to 44, 406, which I'm well outside of right now. 40 to 49, 264. So those are the ones that are different than the top 200 for the men. For the women's side, only 2 of the divisions have more than 200 to qualify. That is the 35 to 39 division, which is 392, and then 48 to 44, which is 303. So if you are trying to advance to semifinals as an age group athlete, you need to be inside the top 200, except for the divisions of 35 to 39, all the way to 45 to 49 for the men, and then women 35 to 44. Those are your numbers. Those are your hard numbers. No less than that. You got to be there. So those are the cut lines there. Now here's the deal. Community Cup. So if you were doing the Open, the rules to get to the Community Cup are, I forgot you asked me this question. You said, Chase, did you find out the top 2% registrants? So for the individual semifinals and masters age group, it's just total registrants. So don't worry about all 3. Those numbers won't change. We're about to talk about the numbers that will change. All right. For the Community Cup, there are 5 divisions for the Community Cup: Pro, Advanced, Intermediate, Novice, and Rookie. Each of those 5 categories have 2 levels assigned to them: 9 and 10, 7 and 8, so on and so forth. The percentiles you need to be in are written here. So for the pro men, which is the top 1%, level 10s, you have to be at minimum 129,000, or the top 1% go. Okay, so on that leaderboard, that's where your marker would be. For the women, okay, I should have told Barkley I need to know like what place number you need to be in.
Yeah.
So basically subtract. Barkley, next time. You did a fantastic job, but I need like the number on the leaderboard. You basically subtract and get to the year. All right. That's okay. To make the whole pro division, right, you have to be in the top 88 percentile worldwide to make the Pro Community Cup. So for all you quarterfinal crybabies out there that were never going to make the CrossFit Games and were never going to make semifinals, and they lowered the bar to you at 25%, and you said, oh, I wanted something to try for, there it is. Make the pro category for the Community Cup, which is the top 12% in the world in your division for individuals, against the group of people who have submitted a score for every single workout. That's the difference. So in week 1, this is based off everybody who submitted a score. If you don't submit a score for all 3, you cannot advance the Community Cup. Now you can do scaled, you can do foundation, you can do the open division, but you must submit a score for all 3 or else that number will decrease. So week to week, this number can change based off the number of people who have submitted a score for 2 consecutive weeks, and then week 3 for 3 consecutive weeks. Our hope and big dream is that we get the last chance qualifier from the Community Cup where this level 10 pros will all be fighting for. That's our hope. That's our big pipe dream, which I think would be cool. So if you guys want something,
it makes it useful. It makes it useful.
It makes it something to pay attention to. It makes it something to strive for. Is that, just making the top 10% for quarterfinals to only get to semifinals, you were excited about. And apparently everybody was excited to make the top 25% last year. Or so sad that it's gone away. And that was just to get to semifinals, which you weren't going to get to anyways. Now you get to play in the same sandbox to qualify to the CrossFit Games in the Community Cup. Now with your other levels, here's what you need to pay attention to, right? This is after week 1. If you're like, here's me, I'm actually in the 87th percentile after week 1. I'm right there. And I do genuinely want to make the pro division for Community Cup. That's my one big goal for the year. I don't care about Masters. I'm not trying to make semifinals for Masters. I'm not trying to make the CrossFit Games for Masters, but I do want to make the pro division for the Community Cup. So my hope is, now that I'm at the 87th percentile, I need to bust my ass to move up 1 more percent. So that's my hope.
Over two events.
I got 2 events to get. Right. Now, traditionally, this would have been the event I would have been good at. And I have since lost that skill and capacity to do that. So if a heavy barbell comes out, then that's not really going to help me out very much. But wherever you guys find yourself, and you're like, Chase, what level I'm at? That's a great question. Download the CrossFit Games app, and it'll tell you as soon as you log in exactly what percentile you're in. I could probably do it on my phone right here.
Yeah, you should do it on mine too.
So let's see. I've got the app here on my phone. And as soon as I open it, I'll try to show you guys there, 87th percentile. Okay.
Wait, where was your percentile on that?
Right on the front.
Oh, I could flip it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had the number. I had the number toggled on mine.
Oh, you got the number?
So,
Yeah, I'm 15,577th in the world. Sweet. Which makes me the 87th percentile.
I'm 20th.
20th. Oh, because you're looking at your age group.
Yeah. Well, how did
you create a Gil Brundler account?
I didn't do a Gil Brundler.
Well, then it's going to automatically sift you into your age group category.
I know. It doesn't do, you know what? But it doesn't even do, it only puts me in the worldwide.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me the, like where I am overall. I wish it would. God dang it.
Riley, I hate apps till CrossFit put in the website. You do it then. Or stop being so lazy. They have enough stuff to do than to appease your disdain for apps. But yeah, that's it, guys. So that's where you find it. Now, again, this number will change. Oh, Barkley's there. Look at that.
Dude,
thank you, Barkley.
Stud.
Thank you, Barkley. Sorry to put that on you. So late. So now you guys see is your cut line to get there. So I am, look, see, this is why the numbers are cool. What did I say where I was in the world? I was 15,577.
Oh, so technically you're in.
So look at these. I'm only 70 spots out of level 9. That's how close I am.
Oh, wow, dude. Wow.
So that's the exciting part. Oh my, this is real-time excitement right now. Thank you, Barkley. Okay, I'm legitimately like fired up. Okay, so that's how close I am. I'm 70 spots away from making a level 9. And if you guys just like, I need motivation. I'm motivated.
Why isn't mine coming up like that worldwide then?
Because you get shifted into.
But you're an age group though too.
No, when you get in 55, it changes everything.
God,
I told you to not do that.
Fucking old people.
Yeah, I told you not to do that.
I forgot that was
phase 1 growing pains everyone. So just if you're 55 plus, sorry.
Fine.
Okay. Tyler, so I'm 68 places out. Now you're probably a level 9. Because Tyler beat me by one
rep. That could be a lot of spots.
And Hiller beat me by 1 rep last year in a 20-minute workout.
Oh God, it's so great. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Ryan, I'm 10,000. All right, so you're in. You're in the top. You're in level 9. Okay, so Barkley, this is perfect. Thank you so much. So if you guys open up the app and just see where you're at, and then you can look at the number like Bill toggled to. You're like, all right, if you're like 90,000th in the world, you're like, okay, I'm a level 3, but I'm only 3,000 people away from a level 4. I can't believe I'm that close. That's cool.
That's wild that it's that close,
That's so
dude.
cool.
Like, it's almost like you planned on like slowing up just so you could get right on the line like that to show I'm only a handful of reps out.
I mean, clearly you guys know that wasn't staged because I just yelled at Barkley. Like, do more. Barkley spent out. Barkley has multiple real jobs. He's starting his own business, which is why we want you guys to support Apollo Perform. Oh, me and Laura or Elena are in the same percentage. Yes. Okay, so that's cool. All right, so we'll update this week in, week out. These numbers will change. So for me, what would suck is 5,000 people don't do workout 2, and now I have to be even better in my percentile. So yes, and that's going to be the fun part of the Community Cup, gang, is now you have a weekly understanding of where you're at. These levels can change. You have 2 more weeks to change your level fate. Are you on teetering of advanced to pro like I am by 70 places? 70 places out of 130,000 people. I'm 70 places away from a level 9. That's exciting. All right. Now let's get to prediction time. A couple of things we want to look at. First and foremost is our clue. You want to look? We'll go clue first.
Yeah, go for the clue. Well, go the
clue first. Look at programming, and then we'll come back.
Yeah.
So here is your wonderful clue from the beautiful mind that is Dave Castro. 7. People like bullets, casings. These are not casings. These are projectiles. This is just the end of the bullet. The bullet is the whole thing. The casing is what houses the firing mechanism and the powder that shoots the projectile out of the gun. These are just the ends of the bullets, which is called a projectile. There are 7 of them. Now, as we get deeper into the weeds, we have some people already throwing things out there. I'll double down on why that could be. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to look at what the programming has been on .com leading up to what will be announced on Thursday. So the workout of the day will not be 25.2 on Thursday. Do they do rest days on Thursdays now?
I didn't think they did.
3-on-1. Oh, it depends on when the 3-on-1 off, 2-on-1 off hit.
Right.
Or are they only doing 3-on-1 off, or they're going back to that? Anyways, so here's Monday of this week. Every minute on the minute for 5 minutes for load, 3 touch and go power snatches. And then every 5 minutes for load, 2 touch and go power snatches. And then every minute on the minutes for 5 minutes, 1 power snatch. So 3 touch and go, add weight each minute. 2 touch and go, add weight each minute. 1 add a each minute. 15 minutes of total. I like that. Avera, please pay attention to the show. We don't even know if that's real. We're just making this up. So I appreciate your questions, but if you take the gamble and put a dumb one in there because you weren't listening, I'm going to let you know. So, power snatches. 15 minutes ascending reps in weight or descending reps, increasing weight on Monday. Tuesday, AMRAP at 8 minutes, 8 dumbbell goblet squats, 8 handstand push-ups, the weight being 70 pounds and 50 pounds. Ooh. I did a workout like this a couple months ago where it was 10 and 10, and it was terrible because you just sit there and you hold the dumbbell the whole time, and then you try to go to the wall, and it's just it's a nasty one. It's a nasty one. Fabrice, do you think Dave's just messing around? No, all of these things mean something to Dave. They mean nothing to us, but in his brain, he's like, this is too easy. And you're like, what are you even talking about? This is not even close. All right, Wednesday. One day before the announcement of the Open. 400-meter run, 30 box jump overs, 30 inches and 24. 800-meter run, 30, 400-meter run. So a little chipper of running and box jump overs. I'd be hard-pressed to say that we'd be doing box jump overs on .com 2 days before an Open workout gets released for Friday. Because Friday is what the Open workout's going to be. Keep that in mind. All right, so we had handstand push-ups, dumbbell squats, goblet squats, power snatches for weight, running, box jump overs. That's .com. Now we go look at CAP. CAP, which you can only view if you're watching this podcast. I guess I shouldn't be sharing this. Or you are an affiliate owner. I'm just promoting CAP, guys. Just promoting CAP. Now, here's what's important about CAP. 25.2 is going to be programmed on Friday. I would assume they don't want to double up too much in here based off movement. So Nancy, which will be 5 rounds for time, 15 overhead squats, which is gross. I'm sorry, let me fix this. So more running. We had running yesterday on .com. This is running on Monday. These two do not line up with each other. These are two totally different program entities. So just keep that in mind. On Tuesday for CAP is probably more important to pay attention to be honest, since it's programmed within the week. Deadlifts, light deadlifts, and then complete 2 wall walks after each set. Oh, I like that. Just 21 all the way down to 3, light deadlifts and wall walks. Ew, how many wall walks? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay.
That's a burner.
That's a burner. Yeah.
You usually don't see wall walks as a burner like that either.
No, I like it. Yeah, because usually you'll see it, especially if a couplet, it'll be like burpees over the bar or handstand push-ups, like a Diane twist. Today, AMRAP in 8 minutes, which we saw an AMRAP in 8 minutes on Tuesday on .com. 8 box jumps, so not jump overs, box jumps, 24 and 20. 1 rope climb. Oh, that's fun. I like that one.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow on CAP is a heavy day. Every minute on the minute. Oh, Bill, this might...
Nope.
You don't think so?
Not even.
Okay. I'm seeing some of these guesses out there, but we'll get to it. Every minute on the minute for 12 minutes, 3 power complex. Build and load each minute, which that is a fast turnaround. 3 power cleans, 2 hang power cleans, and 1 push jerk. So no squatting. Build and load. That's on Thursday. On Friday will be 25.2. We don't know what that's going to be yet. On Saturday, AMRAP in 20 minutes. So we did EMOM, weightlifting, barbell complex the day before the Open. Workouts program. The day after, we have a 20-minute time frame. That's important. Now, does this mean anything? Who knows? Like, we don't know.
We're just pretending. Speculation.
We're just
speculating.
Tinfoil hat. 30 burpees. Okay, we're not doing burpees again. 30 alternating dumbbell snatches. All right, we're not doing that again. And then 100-meter double farmer carry. Ooh. I like that, actually. Farmer carries with dumbbells, just off topic, technically on topic, are so much worse than kettlebells.
Because the handles are so much different.
That and they move in your hands.
Yeah.
Right. So since the weight is evenly distributed, the dumbbells will always try to roll out of your hands, whereas the kettlebells have bottom weighted and they don't move.
Right.
They're fixed underneath. So your hands don't really have to move with the handles. And the handles are usually thicker for the kettlebells, which depending on your hand size could be worse. But okay. And then on Sunday, running, sit-ups, row as a little chipper here. So Bill, with all this information that you have, 2 questions. You can start with the first one if this goes to your prediction, because I feel like you already have it lined up.
Oh, I got it lined up.
Are we repeating? We know there's going to be a repeat this year, and we know it's going to be between the year 2020 and 2024. Are we going to have the repeat in week 2?
I think we are going to have the repeat in week 2. And I think specifically coming off of what week 1 was, we now have a lot of things that we need to put into these next 2 weeks.
Okay.
So when I look at this one right here, like my initial prediction was that it would be 21.3 and 21.4, because that was a 2-parter.
Okay.
That falls in between the 20 to 24 part. I was thinking, stop gates and all of the things like that it needed to happen. But when this came up, I instantly was saying, okay, if you look at the forefront, right in the middle, the first thing you see are 3 of your projectiles, bullets, whatever. You have 3 of them. And 21.3 is a 3-part or a 3-rounder setup. It's 15 front squats, 95 and 65, 30 toes to bar, 15 thrusters, 1 minute rest.
Okay.
Then you do that same thing again, 15, 30, but now the 30 is chest to bar. Then you have your thrusters, 1 minute rest. And the final one, 15, 30, 15, is bar muscle ups.
Ooh.
That's the first piece. It's a 15-minute cap to do that. Immediately when you either finish or you hit the 15-minute time cap, you go into the second part, which is the off-centered or the kind of out of focus pieces. And I see 4 parts to that. Okay. There was a 4-part complex in 21.4, which was a deadlift, clean, hang clean, jerk. 7 minutes to establish a 1-rep max of that. So when I look at all of these events, and you kind of alluded to in cap that complex in the beginning, I think or at the end, the 3 cleans, the 2 hang cleans, and then the 2 whatever and then the 1 jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said, and this was smart that you saw this, was, wow, that's a really fast turnover, meaning you're going to be starting pretty light and you're building and you're only able to do so much. What it allows you is it gives you data to go, okay, I have 7 minutes now of being fatigued. What will I be able to get in the complex? So I know what to start with and what I can kind of hit. So it set that for me going into it the day before. You're not going to be hurting or anything like that. But I think that this piece right here, the toes to bar, the chest to bar, the bar muscle up. Yeah. We've talked about how we need to have stop gaps. We talked about how are you going to be able to separate, especially for the community cup, because quickly going back to, I looked back and saw what number my 21 or 25.1 was. Mm-hmm. And I was 3,944. Yeah. Along with about 100 other people. Right. So it did not split up the group at all. And the one right before that, same thing. There was about 200 people in that one. So they need something that will split up the group. And this one will, with the gymnastics that are in there, because you're gonna have people that have not gotten a toe to bar and people that can get 3. You'll have people that can get 5 chest to bar and some that'll be able to blast right through that. And then some that'll get their first bar muscle up, some that'll get 10, and some that will get all the way through. And that will separate that out. And then we have our strength piece here. And we've said it multiple times that if you're going to do a 1-rep max, it should be some sort of either multi-rep or a complex setup, so where it's not just a big Haas movement. Yeah. You have to have a little bit of fitness underneath that load. And I think that this does that. How they score it, I don't know. I don't know if they score it as 2 parts or what we talked about this last time it came up was you should have your placing for each, and then you average that together, and then that becomes your place. So you can't You can't just do one toe to bar and then rest and be completely rested for the heavy weight lift.
Right.
You have to get yourself through there and make them both count equally.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. Something to prevent the bullshit.
Right.
Because that's the problem with doing the max lift combo.
Yeah.
Two-parter.
Totally. But I think that's what it was. And if that is correct, then that will by far be the easiest clue that Dave has ever put up.
True.
I mean, it seemed like that was the most set one, not one where I'm trying to find and look. Like if it comes out that way, I'll be like, wow, that was seriously on the nose, on this big nose right here.
Jeremy, pistol shoot bullets, 20.4 head pistols. Changed my mind. I don't have to change your mind. That's a terrible guess. They are not going to program pistols in the open in a 3-week open. They're also not going to program regular box jumps with rebounding. So if they repeat that, they can't even repeat it unless they're going to change their standards that they've used. But thank you for playing.
I mean, it's a guess. It's as valid as everything else, but I don't think they're not going to put pistols in the open. No way.
No chance.
What do you think about that?
I mean,
I like the cap complex, like that they have the day before.
So when you explained it, you're like, it doesn't bother me that it's in there and it doesn't change my mind. I'm like, why would it not change your mind? But then when you explain it, it's like, well, they're not going to get heavy. They're more greasing the groove, and it's a prep day. Plus, it's a Thursday, and not very many people train on a Thursday if they're going to be open on the Friday. So to put that in there, maybe to throw people off.
I mean, they're not going to be shooting for a 1 rep max. They're going to try to find what numbers can they play with for tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah.
I see that as the warm up instead of trying to do that the day of.
Yeah.
That's why.
Jeremy, $50 bet. Yeah, I'll take that bet.
Wow.
Right now. Easy.
Yeah.
I'll take that bet. Hero Workout 7. That did cross my mind. There's just too much stuff going on. There's no way you could film that.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Although I like that. What is it called? The sevens?
7 movements of 7 reps.
Yes.
But I see, I don't think that is heavy enough. I don't think it's heavy enough or
there's no way they're gonna put you've got handstand push-ups, which you need a wall, barbell thrusters. Now you need a rig. Now you're doing toes to bar. You also need another bar with different weight,
kettlebell
regular burpees, and then kettlebell swings. That's about as spot on as the 20.4 guess. Jeremy, I'm just fucking with you because you put that out there. You said change my mind, so I'll take the bet. And I'll unfairly give you shit because you're not on the podcast. Dave also said it would be fast. Did he?
Did he? Well, I mean, they're fast pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interval. I know a lot of people were wanting to do I think when they saw the parts, they were thinking like interval style, like 2-2-3 type stuff.
Jeremy, if I gave away what the workout wasn't going to be, I would be fired so quickly. And you can ask anybody that is around me that I would never even.
No, Jeremy, we've been doing this game a long time.
And I know you're playing.
He doesn't even tell me. He didn't even tell me last week. I didn't even know.
Bill doesn't even ask me anymore.
I don't even know because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the game.
Now, here's my thinking.
Hey, wait, real fast. There's 300 of you guys in here.
Oh,
I hope you guys are liking. I hope you guys give us a thumbs up, please.
Yeah, guys.
You guys are awesome. I just told you what the workout's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah. You got to make up for the subscription we just lost from Jeremy because I'm giving him so much flack. All right. So based off Dave's little hint here, and some people have put this in the chat, which I'm very proud of some people here because I talked about this yesterday, is, okay, I see 7 bullets in the ground, projectiles, right? No, keep going, Jeremy. It's okay.
No, you're good, Jeremy.
You're welcome here. The first reaction is like, okay, 7 rounds of 7s. I was like, okay, that would be cool. And then I was trying to think of what those numbers could be, what that could look like. And I was trying to make up a new workout. But then I was like, do I want a repeat workout for James, Dallin, and Jason? Or do I want to see something new and fresh with basically a fresh 3 guys to an open announcement?
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of the announcement people.
Right?
Who better put on a toe to bar workout than Emily Rolfe?
Okay.
Just
True.
saying. Just saying.
That's a good point because she is amazing at toes to bar. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have to guess, then I would like the repeat to be here because I'm excited to see Emily and Sydney, but I'm not a huge excited about repeat kind of guy, especially in 3 weeks.
Right.
So I was like, all right, if we're gonna dump a repeat out there, which doesn't draw super excitement for me, I'm gonna throw it in week 2. No offense, ladies, but if I want to see something fresh, new, a little wild and crazy, hopefully like a week 3 progressive type deal, although my guess is going to ruin that, I'd like to see it in week 3. So I will also put out a prediction here. And what I'm looking at is, someone could say very obvious, right? Someone's talked about fast. I don't know where Dave said that. But I'm looking at the projectiles. Now, I'm also thinking about Dave. What does Dave love to do? Dave does a lot of shooting competitions. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, here are 7 projectiles. What caliber is this? All right, what type of caliber is he using? Because there's a lot of different range. I mean, there's a lot. You got like 6mm, 308. You got 5.56, which is more for like ARs. But for long-range rifle competitions, right, you need speed and accuracy with the type of bullet you're using or projectile. I was like, man. So I Googled, what's the most common caliber bullet used in sniper, rifle, long-range competitions? And they said 223. And I was like, 223. All right. Well, what could that be? Is it as obvious as saying a repeat of 22.3? All right. So now we have the 21 pull-ups, 42 double unders, 21 thrusters at weight 1, 18, 36, 18 at weight 2, 15, 30, 15 at weight 3. It's a little faster. It's a week 2 step up from week 1. We're getting below parallel. We're hanging on a pull-up bar. We're doing that little friend test. The double unders aren't really in there other than making it worse, kind of like the lunges were for 25.1.
Right.
Like, yeah, you get this quote unquote break just to kind of change the weights. Not change the weights, later it does. And to see those 2 go after it, I think would be interesting. Obviously, they both did it in 2022. Their times could be different. But then I went the extra step, Bill, and I was like, I feel like the 7 was intentional. And what could that be? Kind of like what you were looking at, right? The 3 different movements coupled with the 4. That's 7. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, technically, this is how I look at it. Different skills as they advance to me, right? A pull-up is not the same as a chest-to-bar pull-up because there's more range of motion, it's more difficult. A bar muscle-up, same thing. More range of motion, more difficult. Those are 3 different movements.
Totally.
Like we all agree.
I see that, yeah.
I look at ascending skills, even if it's all hanging, pulling movements, very akin to ascending weights. Because to me, a 95-pound thruster is not the same as a 135-pound thruster. Yes, it's both a thruster, but with the weight change, that changes the stimulus and does out some people based off their strength, capacity, and stamina. So it's like, I look at those as separate movements as well. Movement patterns are the same, but the weights are different. So I was like, okay, well, there's pull-ups, chest to bar. Okay, that's 3 different movements. And then we have 3 different thruster weights. That's 6. But we have double unders in there. And with the volume, 42, 36, 30, those aren't different. Those are basically the same. And I see that as 7 different movements programmed for 25.2 that are in 22.3.
I actually totally forgot about this one. And I think if I would have seen it, it would have been hard to come off that thought process too, just because of the increase in technicality. And
Yeah.
I mean, even the weight's not heavy. It is for the masses, 15 thrusters at 135 pounds for the men or 95
Yes.
for the women. Like that could be a pain in the ass. And especially at the end of doing all that work, I like that. I like that guess. I still think mine's better, but I do like that guess. I
Yes.
do like it.
Another one I had, and actually it's funny that Jeremy's like, I'm revising my another one, and this is gonna drive Bill up a wall. And so Jeremy says, I'm revising my guess. Bullets are shot at targets. Good. As are wall ball shots. Okay. 20.5. Bill, do you remember what 25 point? No, bet is not still on if you're going to change the workout. Because I'm more on board with 20.5 than I am with 20.4. Do you remember what 20.5 was?
Was that the wall
Most
balls and
favorite
rowing?
open workout of all
the
time.
choose your own adventure. See, I
Choose
blanked
your own
it out. I
adventure.
blanked it out of my head.
Okay, so here's why this could be on the table as well. Although this would be a fun one for week 3. Like, I think if they don't repeat this week, they'll repeat next week, and that's what this will be.
Wait, say that again.
If they don't do a repeat workout this week for the girls,
they definitely will do it on
this will be the repeat next week for the guys.
Okay.
Look,
because it's the only machine, huh?
You got big boys that can row and wall ball, and then this is going to be a battle on the rings, right? So partly what Jeremy is saying is that what I looked at is not shooting at a target, which actually that's really clever. I like that. Mine was projectile to a target, and the projectiles that are in Dave's Clue, which is what their name is, that's what a wall ball or a med ball is, right? As you throw it, it's a projectile in the air. Right? It becomes, and there's no other. I mean, what else do we throw in CrossFit? Maybe we threw sandbags, but like med ball is really the only thing that we throw actively in competition as a projectile. So this was on the table. I hope not. I still like this one as most people can kind of get through this, right? This one is more accessible because even if you don't have ring muscle ups, well, now you're doing 120 wall ball shots and 80 cals on the rower for time, which last time I checked is not very easy to do. Oh yeah, the softball toss. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. Softball. Look at all you guys. Projectile vomit. That's good. Yeah, softball. Good. Yeah. We're not going to do that in the gym. So you guys are right. Softball's in 2011, Corey. Come on. 2011. What do you think? I mean, I know you don't like this, but I think of those three that there's a pretty good target around that.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Because now you add a very high skill element, which we need to have. We need to have something in there that is going to separate the field. This alienates less people because there's a for time element as a tiebreaker, and it's not just doing 21 thrusters at 95 pounds because you can't do double unders or pull-ups. Right? There's a massive fitness element to this tiebreaker if it is just finish the row and the wall ball shots.
Man,
I know you don't like it.
I don't. If the workout, okay.
What if it was this
if it was accessible and they flipped it and it was not partitioned in any way? It was 120.
We just said the same thing at the same time. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So if it was that, I would be way more into it because then it would be all right. The tie break because they need to have one. They have to have a tiebreak. The fact that they didn't have one on the last event, I think, is a major problem. There's hundreds of people at my exact same number, hundreds, and that's bad. Especially when you're trying to get into the 1%. You know what I mean? If and you're saying how many spots you are away, they need to have it. If it's this one, it's got to be flipped, and their tiebreak has to be after the row. That's got to be even before you get to the muscle ups.
No, I would like this. Now, would you count this as a repeat, or are we gonna?
I'd count it as a repeat.
Yeah.
And the only reason I would
You
count it as a
can't.
repeat
There's no way you
because
can count it as a repeat.
it was a you could do it anyway. So technically, it's still doing it. Like here's the way you're doing it. This is the way. So I mean, it's the same thing. It's just I could see that, but it won't be that.
Yeah.
It won't be that.
Matt Frand, who's written in this year? Dave, Boz, both. Dave talked about programming influence and insight on his weekend review on Monday. I don't know who's doing the final say. I mean, I can say this because Dave said this, but like Dave reached out to me and asked me as well, which was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, it was cool. None of my... He used nothing that I gave him.
No Turkish get-ups is what you're saying.
Yeah, he didn't really like the Turkish get-up concept. But yeah, that was cool that he shouted out. I was just going to keep that buried deep forever because nobody... As an example of things I don't talk about, like... But he said it, so I'll just corroborate his story. Yes. Which is kind of cool.
Do you think that we're going to have a two-parter? Not whether we have to or not, but do you think that we will?
Do I think we will? Yes.
Okay.
Do I think we should? No. If we do, I really hope they figure out a better way to score the two.
Agreed.
Now, my age-old option has been whatever you program for the Metcon portion, have it tailored to a certain way where the top number of reps you get are very close to the top number of pounds you lift for the best of both worlds. And then you just combine reps and pounds together. That would be the coolest thing they've done to test strength and work capacity mashed into one so you get one score. Because in the top 1%, this is an example I use a lot. So Chris Spieler, when he aged up to 35 to 39, podiumed at the CrossFit Games in his division, right? But this was also when in the age group online qualifier, which got you to the CrossFit Games, they took your open place finish as your first score of the next round.
Yeah.
So wherever you finish in the open worldwide in your division was event one of the age group online qualifier. So say Chris gets 30th place. He gets 30th for his starting number because they still did points per place. Why this is dumb is because if they did the same thing in a year where they just isolated a lift, then he would not have even made the CrossFit Games because his place finish would have been so low because of that. He wouldn't have made the games, and the guy's going to podium every year he goes in his master's divisions, 35 to 39 at the time. It just is a bad way to program in the open. I've said that since day one. I'll continue to say it till I'm blue in the face or you guys are tired of hearing it. I don't care. It's facts. Isolated weightlifting movements should not be 25% of your open score to get to the top 1%, especially when you don't offset it with a gymnastics single modality test or a monostructural single modality test.
And I totally agree with that. And
so
that's why
if they two-part it, I really hope they score it either as one combined,
right,
or somehow make the reps and weights come together for a singular. Whatever they do, they need to figure out how to score it better. They can program it. They just need to score it better. So we'll see.
I'm nervous.
What do you think?
I think that if you're only going to have 3 events, you need to be very proactive with how you decide to program so that you know who's moving on. Mm-hmm. I do not, and I will continue to say this, especially if you're looking for 1% to get out.
Yeah.
You cannot make your open competition to where it's like all inclusive, to where I can grab someone off the street and they can do it. That cannot be the race. They don't do that for marathons because you can't go and grab anyone and throw them on 26 miles and have them run.
Yep.
Not everyone can do it. So I think that you should have elements that people can do. but you should not be afraid to have a level of technicality, a level of strength, a level of aerobic capacity where you are not afraid to push the outer limits of that. If this first event was pushing anaerobic capacity, because there was nothing difficult about it, and I'm talking about the people that are at the 1%. I'm talking about the general class. I mean, it's very, very tight. And because it was so untechnical and not heavy, it was solely based on aerobic capacity, which means we have 2 more events to check these other things. And they can't be. I don't think that they should be pure aerobic capacity like that one anymore.
Right.
So
That's why I picked 22-3 as an option, because it's like a 5 to 7 minute workout.
Right. And like I said, I do like that one. I forgot about that one. I was just thinking that, like, okay, stop gapping, and I still think that they need to do something heavy. I think that with a lot of and it does. I don't think it needs to be a 1 rep max, even a complex, but you have to have some weights in there that are going to be difficult. I mean, like we've always said that probably the best programmed event ever, or one of probably the top 3 that we always talk about, is the toe to bar double under squat clean.
16,
because it gets heavy. And that right there is where everyone gets to play. The good athletes will be able to hang in there, and the best athletes will be able to do the work at the end. And that's the only way that you can have an event that's going to, 1, kick your top 1% to the top. 2, allow everyone to filter through their community cup rankings now, and 3, be able to put out to the crowd and the masses so that everyone can do either their version of it, the scaled version, or the foundational version. That is the only way to do it. And they have to, I just really hope that they not just lean into it, but lean into it heavy on those 2. And if you're going to do a repeat, I think that you have to, I mean, almost, it's got to be blatant, the things that you're trying to check off, so that you can really, I'm with you. I want to see something fun and exciting and different when we have the 3 bad boys just clubbing at each other. That's what I want. I can see there being, a machine. I mean, how can you not have a machine when you have those guys in there? But how many times have we seen the athletes that are doing the event, and it's like, wow, they really aren't picked for that event. They just happen to be good at certain things. It's like, did they pick them for that? I don't know. I mean, I guess technically they could have. Rich is great at pacing, so he would be great. I would think that Haley would have been great on the first one. Austin, just because, range of motion, and that's an easy one to put him in there. I think that those are 2 good athletes. If, we're talking either my prediction or your prediction, I think that Emily and Sydney are 2 great athletes to put out there on that, because they're going to do well at the gymnastic piece. So I don't know. I think they just, I hope, I'm squeezing my fingers really tight that they do a good job of actually, thinking about it and putting it together and being aware of all the variables that are out there. It's not just an event. There's a lot of things that have to take place on this, or at least I hope they're thinking about it as important as we do.
Jeremy, thoughts on this is a comment. Thoughts on repeating 2020 to 2024, or did we already talk about this? We did not already talk about this.
You know what? I think that personally, I think what it does is it keeps us away from some of those classic-y ones that we've already hit 2 and 3 times already. And it allows us to really say, okay, for a lot of people, that if we're dipping back into 14, 15, that's not a repeat for most people. It's only a repeat for me because I've been here forever.
And if we do a 10-year repeat, we're like, listen, we're at the stage where this is actually a really good question. Is that because when we first started doing repeats, it was like the year before, or within a 2 to 3 year time frame, where you could legitimately, depending on your age, test yourself, right? If you do something from 10 years ago, I don't care who you are, unless you were novice and now you're a games athlete. Like, I'm not beating anything I ever did 5 years ago. I'm just not. Okay. I'm also training my 1 hour a day, 4 times a week, if I'm doing good.
Right.
Right? That's just not where I'm at. And so if you look at Dave and what he likes to do is if you guys remember when he programmed for .com, he talked about doing micro repeats, repeats within the same 2 to 3 week time span. And when he programmed for .com, they would program 2 weeks at a time. And he started with that 10 rounder of, 200 meter run and 3 ring muscle ups.
Yeah, that was such a good one.
And then 2 weeks later on the last day, he did the same thing. And he's like, I just like to see that. So this falls in line with doing a repeat event that regardless of where your fitness level is over the last 5 years, you are close to or have an opportunity to improve upon what you did without being so far removed. It's almost not fun for you.
Yeah.
Like me doing Fran again, like I'm not doing a 221.
Right.
Ever again. No, I don't want to say ever again. Most likely never again for the rest of my life. But then again, I'm not training 4 hours a day and trying to make the CrossFit Games again.
Yeah. So I think, and that because of that, it lends me to believe that, okay, like that's a pretty, like you had to be thinking about it to say, okay, it's only going to be between these years if we do a repeat.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hopeful as I always am. I'm always hopeful. I mean, I guess the last handful of years I've gotten a little bit less and less, more and more worried.
Yeah.
Than I've been hopeful. But I mean, like that's a very intentional thought process to say that from Dave. So
Yeah.
I am hopeful.
Yeah. This is always a funny one. I think this year they will pick the athletes for the workout. I wish they did, but they clearly do not.
And that's been proven so many times.
Never would have thrown Haley Adams in there.
Right.
Like they would have never asked her to do that. Now, was it just for fun and for eyeballs? Well, we didn't get to see her because once Rich jumped in, you're like, nobody really cared what anybody else was doing.
No.
They're probably more annoyed that Austin was being so good.
Well, it's nice that those two are right next to each other.
Yeah, right. They at least are next to
it's
each
the
other.
same camera
No,
angle.
They don't. Do I want them to? Absolutely, yes, because they've been programmed. They should 100% pick athletes that will do great at the workout.
Yeah.
And a great matchup between the two of them. Heaven forbid we have another Lauren Brooks, Julie Fouché thing going out there in 15. Was it 15-3 or 15-4?
Yeah. Where Julie
7-ring muscle ups.
Oh, and it was gymnastic. Your gymnast versus your barbell queen. And she's like, what? No barbells? Nothing? That was so sad. I felt so bad for her.
So I hope so. I hope we get that this week, and I for sure hope we get something next week because those three guys they all have their own strengths and weaknesses that are very similar with each other. They're fun guys to watch. They're fun guys to watch compete, to trash talk back and forth. And I mean, I feel like Dave picked those guys because of the chatter that came out about that. You remember that?
Man, they're the new guard, man. They're so
It is,
fun.
but I love that. I love that Dave saw the chatter out there about what an open announcement, who would be great.
Yeah.
And they were like listening, watching. It was like, yeah, this is a great. Because those guys, there's no way they had those three picked early. That was a late pick, a late ad. So props to the games team for pulling that off.
Yeah.
Not to look past tomorrow. All right. That'll do it. It is 9 minutes until Around the Whiteboard starts on Pedro's show. I will be there debating topics that I have not planned for or prepped for because I've been prepping for this show. But if you guys want to watch it, you don't have to do a thing. All you have to do is stay here because we will link you directly to Around the Whiteboard. And just to show Pedro some love, just let him know that Get With The Programming sent you.
So 356, you guys give us a thumbs up.
356
of you guys stay here, and then you'll go to Pedro's show.
But yeah, stay here. Maybe during your 8 minutes, you could subscribe, you can get all the notifications. If you want to spend $5 a month and just join our membership, which you get nothing but cool little gifts to put in the comment section, that would be great too. A little goes a long way. A little from you goes a long way from us. We really do mean that. But at the end of the day, thank you for being here. Thank you for rolling with us. We'll watch along with all of you on Thursday. We'll be back on Monday as we recap what went down this weekend for 25.2. On Tuesday, we will do the Chase's Walk of Shame. Maybe that's what we should call it. Chase's Wad of Shame.
We did actually. Oh, dude. Nice.
Chase's Wad of Shame. Okay, so we just created a new segment. This is the inspiration you guys give us on a daily basis. The Chase Wad of Shame will be back on Tuesday. We'll be back again with Inside the Leaderboard on Wednesday, and then maybe Friday. We'll see. We'll see. But stick around for Around the Whiteboard. We appreciate you guys so much for rolling with us. Good luck to the athletes competing in 25.2. Good luck to you guys over the weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday.
I want everyone to see what I know I'm capable of.
I want to make my training worth it.
I think it will be a good head-to-head between the both of us.
Everyone knows CrossFit is volatile the way the workouts change. You could get first at one and 10th at another, so no pressure.
I'm super excited to do the open announcement. It's an amazing opportunity.
I'm excited to go head-to-head with Sydney. I mean, yeah, I want to win. Of course I do.